Good morning here from Milnerton High School. My name's Chris Gibson and I'm joined in commentary by Kurt Surfentone. Morning, Kurt.
Morning, Chris. It's really good to be here. I'm excited about seeing what's in store the next couple of hours.
Yeah, nice, good game to get us started here. You got Curro, Durbanville versus Curro, the two form teams of the festival thus far. So, no better way to get the day started.
Yeah, for sure. Just not having seen any of these teams play previously, especially yesterday. Probably a good game to start with, and very interested to see how this one plays out.
Curro, so the early circle entry here. Just missing the tap in on the far post, and Curro with the free hit on the far sideline. Keegan Roger on the ball, it looks like. Fantastic turnover there. Poor rest of the circle entry. Some nice defense there from Curro to stop that counter.
Yeah, very quick counter there, turnover. Ball play to Moses Cosman at the top. Okay, just good defensive intervention there from the Curro central defender, and Curro's start with the ball again, starting with the back three here.
It almost looks like Curro have got into a Fario shape, and they've got into their fetcher, but Porus in the pocket forced the turnover. Yeah, it'll be interesting. So we just saw Curro, obviously they're outletting for those who are not familiar with the different formations. We've got Curro, they're outletting or setting up in a back three, so you'll see on the screen now you've got three guys at the far end of the pitch, and then they'll have two guys just ahead of them, other side of the 25, is what we call a fario. So the two ahead are fetchers, and you can see Porus are pretty happy just saying pass into that space and we're going to step in the pocket.
Yeah, interestingly, twice those fetchers have been turned over. And as I said, that Fitch under pressure again, but he gets the free hit going his way this time.
Yeah, I think really Porus's coach Ash Freddy obviously has said to them that let's give them that fake space, let the ball go into the fetcher, and then just two guys just step and try and force the turnover. First opportunity to watch Curro press to see how they set up.
Sean Martin on the ball, quite a skillful player.
Oh, pretty good outlet there from Porus. I think the biggest difference, if you had to look at the two early on, there is you just see Sean there, his ability just to get out of the tight spaces. Where Curro haven't been able to do that just yet, but it seems it almost looks like the shapes are very similar, the way they're pressing each other. So I think it's going to come down to that individual skill at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, for sure. Good pressure, and first penalty corner of the game awarded to Porus.
A bit of a cheap short corner there when you look at it, but if you appreciate maybe what the coaches have been working and the players have been working on the practice ground, you'll probably see that they've identified that being a big turnover zone, and it's probably good reward for good work off the field. For those of you who are wondering why they're putting water on the ball there, with it being a sand-based turf, it gets a bit sticky. So players just add that just for a bit of. You see the push and the flick. The rear ward. Just sorry, before I got interrupted by the play there. It's just to ensure that the ball gets out a bit quicker to the stoppers at the top of the circle. It's all 100% legal. So yeah, just for anyone that was wondering.
Direct shot at Goldie from a traffic rushed on well with the first wave. Let's see how this one goes. Again, very good first wave running. Nice and brave.
Just like that, Porus take the lead, 1-0 up.
Yep.
5 minutes, just over 5 minutes gone, and Porus have taken the lead. See how Curro get back as we see the replay, yeah? Interesting. The postman almost a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit fearful of the ball there, which I think we can all understand. But
Always back in there, and just wide of the goals. Immediate pressure after getting 1-0 up, and they haven't taken their foot to the accelerator.
that's what the best teams do. They score one, and they'll just try and absolutely put their foot down the pedal and get that second one. So it's an important period here for Curro. They just need to try and keep the ball, get some composure, make sure that they don't concede a second, and obviously, if they can, just try and equalise as soon as possible.
Very important advice there that you've given Chris for a lot of younger coaches. And Curro need to settle. Don't need to go into a panic. And immediately we see that they've upped the position stakes on their side. And again, turnover in the wide zone. We immediately see the Paul Lewis player off the ball, creating the height inside the D as a point of attack, and ball cleared again. So clear plan here from Paul Lewis, as you've alluded to much early on. Turn over the ball in the midfield zones, launch the counter, get numbers high and wide, and yeah, seems to be working at this point in time. Sean Mott being dispossessed this time.
Really good aggressive defence there from Curro. Putting Sean under pressure, 2 or 3 guys, and then managing to launch a counter attack, which unfortunately just peters out on the other side of the halfway. But Curro showing they've got the ability to compete here. The reality though, it looks like they're going to have to just live on scraps, try and stay in the game as long as possible, and if they do get the 1 chance or 2 chances on the counter, they're going to have to be very clinical. Over the years, we've watched Ashland Freddie coaching at Paul Lewis, and he's got a very distinct and dynamic way that he wants to play hockey. He very rarely uses an overhead. He likes to keep the ball on the ground, using a mix of short passes and longer wide passes. And it's evident already with this crop of Paul Lewis boys that they're continuing that tradition.
Another good defensive intervention there from the Curro defender.
These are one of the chances that Curro have got. You would have liked to see them just to take. They would have liked to just take an advantage there, but unfortunately, just poor technique, and the ref's blown them up for the ball hitting the back of the stick.
Yeah, coming back to your point on Ashland's coaching style and philosophy there, Chris. Yeah, probably very much accurate there. He also puts a lot of emphasis on midfield rotations and movement off the ball. You know, creating triangle offense. And you'll see a lot of decent movement off the ball from these Paul Lewis players when their team's in possession.
It's just, just a basic thing like the awareness there from the Paul Lewis boy, just to knock that ball back from the baseline to the guy taking it on the 25. I mean, for someone like yourself who's been coaching at the top level, that is just second nature and what should be done. But for any of the younger coaches watching and players that are maybe watching this, it's such a 1%er is what we talk about. It's the small things that make a big difference, and it gave Porus the ability to take that free hit really quickly. As we see Curro with another attack here. Porous hunting in packs, so 2 or 3 boys around the ball at any given time. So Curro going to find it really hard to get up there.
All been recycled by Curro. Nice little interplay there. We're going to see a crash ball coming in from the zone. Not necessarily. That was a lot more promising in terms of build up. Nice little interplay down the right hand side channel there from Curro, but fortunately don't get any reward.
Curro seem to be setting up slightly deeper this time, giving them a good, almost like a deep 3/4 press here.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too narrow. Porous able to get all the way up the other side of the field. So interesting idea from Curro. I think we can understand why they're doing it. And maybe just the right wing, maybe just a little bit too narrow, allowing that left half too much space to be able to just exit.
Yeah, probably also looking to congest the build-up area for Porous once it gets over that halfway line. Ruben Senzel on the ball.
Oh,
Plays a neat one in and we get the second goal.
what a goal. Hopefully the replay just catches the beginning of that goal, but it all comes from a very tidy press. And the counter-attack, they always, I mean, in South Africa always say that the best players think they have to run with the ball, but
Yeah.
if we're going to see the replay, I think there's minimal running, and it's just the ball just moving as we see pass, protect and pass, and then simple goal. I mean, beautiful.
Great to
Almost
watch.
European style, you know. Fantastic.
And we see the patience from the point of the press there from Ruben. Not going charging in, really disciplined. They're holding their shape, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. Starting to step up slightly more now.
Oh. Yeah, so really good disciplined press there from Curro, from Porous, forcing Curro to take a really high risk backstick shot from their own circle to get the clearance. As it was a good execution, but it just shows a good merit and good reward from the press for Porous.
Very interesting comment from Coach Freddie there, instructing his players not to become too detached in their press, which is very important. So for the younger coaches there, it's simply just a case of your forwards not becoming detached from your midfielders in behind them in the second line of your press. Very, very important.
So on that, would you say that the forwards are just, they mustn't run too far forward, or the links have got a responsibility of staying closer behind the forwards? Which one would that be, Kurt?
It would depend on the instruction in terms of what at which point do you want your strikers stepping slightly higher, and when the midfielders are on the same page, then they have to keep that distance constant between the two of them. That would be my response to that, Chris. So just over 6 minutes remaining in this half of the game.
Sorry, Kurt. A clear plan here from Porous. The minute the ball hits the outside half, it's a full press, and if they go back inside like they did there, they're going to be under big pressure in the middle of the field. So Curro, that being said, Curro done really well to keep possession and keep the ball, as we see Liam Glasby with the overhead. Unfortunately just can't connect there, but maybe a little bit of a breather for them, an opportunity to get the ball up the other side of the field and press Porous.
Just also been very interesting to see how easily it is for the Paul Lewis, midfielders in wide positions, even just to transfer ball from ball side ball side to half side that easily. Haven't really seen the Curro midfielders, or when they're in defensive mode, been able to prevent that. They should be closing that transfer window.
Really nice build up here from Curro. Liam Glasby on the ball, looking to work a bit of magic. You get a short corner here. Oh, really nice backhand flick and good save from Pora's keeper there. Yesterday afternoon, Pora's played against Somerset College. They ended up winning quite comfortably then, but in the first 2 minutes, Somerset College got a P-flick, and the Pora's keeper pulled off a blinder of a save. It really set the tone for the game. And you see that save there. He's a very dominant figure there in his goal box.
Yeah, first time I've seen about 90% of these young talented boys in action, but I do believe that the Paul Roos keeper has been included in the Vic's men's team this year, so probably says a lot about his ability.
Yeah, if you consider Vic's being the Marty's second team, for anyone that's not aware, but if you consider how much talent there is in the Marty's hockey setup, any given year, there's probably 300 to 400 players trialing there. So it's a huge feather in his cap to be able to be in the top 3 or 4 keepers at the club.
With just under 4 minutes remaining, Curro will probably be looking to get back into this if they can. Would be a good time. As you say, that ball turned over. Overhead attempted from midfield there, but umpire judged that to be dangerous. Curro returned the favour into the wide zone. Been a bit of a pattern when the ball's in the central areas for the Curro team, looking to play the crash ball as soon as they get close to the 23-meter defensive line of the Paul Roos side, but the execution unfortunately hasn't been great.
Really nice skill there. Again, just unfortunately can't connect with the pass, but it's been amazing to watch Paul Roos, as we see the umpire carding. Who's that? Liam Glasby.
Just a bit unfortunate there in terms of the discipline. 2 Curro players got in one another's way.
So green card is 2 minutes off, and pretty much for the rest of the half, Curro will be down to 10.
Always been more aggressive now. Curro down, player down.
Nice turnover.
Let's look at what the decision is here.
Oh, really nice save there from Alex Kraus. Caught in after making the save, he needed to make a decision, either retreat or carry on, and he stepped on to put pressure on the ball carrier, and the ball carrier was very creative in trying to loop him. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to get it on target, and Curro survived.
Yeah.
Here's a chance for Curro entering the 25. Need to try and get something at the end here. Oh. Umpires deemed that to be a free hit out, as you see the Curro player may have hurt himself.
As we see the player get back to his feet, seems that Curro is getting a bit more joy entering on the right hand shoulder. We've seen that 3 times now. I just need to get some sort of outcome from it, whether it be a penalty corner or a decent attempt on goal. Couple of seconds remaining here, and it's another shot at goal.
And that is half time. Porus take the lead and they're 2-0 up. Okay, welcome back to Milnerton High School, to the second half here. We've got Porus versus Curro. Porus playing from right to left as you're watching the screen now. They're playing in white and Curro in the navy.
Curro back to their full complement now, after Liam Glasby has served his 2 minutes on the sidelines for that green card. All was quite comfortable in their outlet.
So we were chatting off air, Kurt, and you were saying that you would wonder if Curro might consider going to a back four just to help their press out. In the early stages, it seems like Curro has stuck to their guns of saying that this is how we're going to play. It doesn't matter who we're playing against. We want to play like this. And it'll be interesting to monitor it in the rest of the half to see if they do maybe consider changing it. But as we see, Porus with a good circle entry. Unfortunately, just can't connect with it on the far post there.
Yeah, Chris, so chatting off air, I mean, we spoke about that possibility, and also suppose on the flip side, coaches are using these very useful pre-season events to, to work on structures, and, for all we know, that Coach Brendan Kieswetter wants to go with the back three for the majority of the season, and he's getting his guys to adapt to it.
As we see Caleb Ferreira with the possession here from Curro. Really nice, good composure there and able to get the ball up the field. Good speed, good control here from Curro. Can they force something?
And as I alluded to toward the end of the first half, Curro had more success coming in from that right-hand offensive T-point zone, and probably the fourth time now. So that's where they're finding the most joy offensively.
Yeah, and if you look conversely for Porus, you would say they've enjoyed it more through the left to middle side. It's an interesting one. From my personal experience, generally the right hand side is the easier side to attack, being the stick side, and but it's been interesting that Porus have found it on their middle or left side to have this. That being said, we see Porus a lovely outlet and attack on the right side. Circle entry, Caleb Ferreira again, really good composure and managed to get the ball out of the circle.
Yeah, I just thought Ruben Senzel there could have done slightly better as the Paul Roos high striker there, probably a bit too casual in terms of the decision he made. Had two players in good positions off the ball inside the circle, and Curro allowed to outlet from the sideline again. Good pressure from Paul Roos, but Liam Glasby coming in there to mop up on behalf of Curro. Paul Roos looking to build again from the back, set their platform slightly higher. And penalty corner awarded to Paul Roos. This is the third one on the match. They scored of the second one.
Kieran, you can come off now, so long.
See Ruben Senzel on the castle there with Sean Mott. Interesting setup here. 3 players with the trapper.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one of them will run across as a blocker almost just try and distract the first wave maybe.
Pretty straight and comfortable for Alex Grass there.
Really nice. As it is, those 2 extra runners actually look like just to become slip left options or rebounders. Looking for any action back on that side of the circle. A very interesting setup.
Yeah. Always recycling, coming all the way out again as they would, but patient. Is that left shoulder you spoke about, Chris, earlier again?
It's been very interesting. They've been very comfortable outletting and building up on their left side and then getting into the circle from that side. So Porus are all round actually, to be honest. They're through the middle, on the right, on the left. They've been good value today.
Lots of players in that area there. Not too scrappy, but Paul was just being patient and getting the ball back. As I said earlier, ball being transferred too easily from one side to the other side of the field by Paul Ruiz.
I think you can just see there in that build-up, see Paul Ruiz with another opportunity. Nice save from Alex Kraus. Paul Ruiz just finding it too easy to build up on their left side. I think Curro a little bit worried about that middle ball and the receiver, their center link getting the ball. But they've gone so narrow that they've just made it so easy for the outside links just to have space. See another entry here. Umpire's blown it for danger, lifted across the goal. And another escape there for Curro. They got a bit lucky.
Yeah, we saw Alex Kraus leaving his line very explosively there. And actually didn't have a defender to close down that player, received the ball freely.
Really interesting. Every time Paul Ruiz are in the deep defensive zone, they've just got 2 or 3 players on the ball to put pressure on the Curro players at any given time. So good recipe that, and it's been, you've seen so far their turnover rate's been really high in their deep defensive zone.
Curro is still comfortable to drop off to that deep 3/4. And stepping up now. Good 2-touch hockey again from Paul Ruiz. Keep moving the ball through the various channels.
Nice ball protection and carry, looking for a short corner, and they found it. Really good hockey there from Paul Ruiz, and it'll be interesting to see what they come up with at this short corner. Still early days in the season, very much still the pre-season phase, so a lot of teams feeling their way around things, but that's been the biggest noticeable thing watching the games that I have at the festival thus far, is that penalty corner execution, there's still a lot to work on, as we do expect this time in the year.
Paul Ruiz now reverting to a double castle again. Senzel and Mott as the 2 replicas. Paul took a little deflection there, so it's a 23-meter offensive free to Paul Ruiz.
Wow, really good skill, good save from Alex Kraus, good double save.
Well done there by Alex Kraus, very good indoor goalkeeper as well, and yeah, great recovery to get back on his feet and get into great position.
So you can see the minute the ball gets played in that area there where the receivers just got it, there's pressure on them, and they either pass the ball backwards, and if they turn and go forward, they're going to be met by 1 or 2 Paul Ruiz defenders. Curro have done really well to outlet and stay patient here. just as I say it, they give the ball away. But that was one of their better outlets. As you see, Porus with the counter entering the 25, and a very soft short corner there, conceded ultimately.
Yeah, so the key thing there as well as Chris is that obviously, well, not obviously, I would have expected Coach Ashton Freddy to coach his players in terms of the press, in terms of certain triggers, in terms of when they needed to step onto those fetches, and yeah. But on the flip side, also to Curro's credit, they've been a lot more comfortable when receiving in those pockets. So those two fetches / farios, blockers, whatever we want to call them. And Ford was having another go here with Sean Mark having changed positions with Ruben Senzel. Not a great injection. Sure, Coach Freddy wouldn't be too happy there. Forwards have been moving the ball well, and then yeah, one or two players just deciding to hang on to the ball a bit too long, as we see there again. And same comes from the Curro side. Both teams just have to keep moving the ball. Here we have an opportunity. And but an unselfish play there from the Paulus number 9, looking to play his mate in on a 2v1 versus the keeper, and unfortunately it doesn't work out.
Another turnover in midfield here. Sean in possession. Look for a connection. Oh, great finish there. Doesn't need any help. Just comfortably lifts it over the keeper's right shoulder, and Porus 3-0.
I think what's important, if we do get to see the replay, is the actual way that Sean was fed that ball and the way the pass was weighted, and got the turnover there, got the players going ahead, stands the defender up, and yeah, we see the a la Dayan Kasim skill, staying in movement.
Yeah, very Dayan-esque, that one. I think those of us that have been fortunate enough to watch Dayan go through the years, whether it be at indoor or at school or club hockey, I think he actually scored a very similar goal to that at the Olympics. You know, it could have been against Belgium, or Belgium, I think it was. Just as he steps almost off his right foot, and he just flicks it across the keeper. Really tidy finish that. Porus very comfortable at the moment. They're able to dictate what they want to do at the moment. They're very comfortable just moving left to right and looking for the. But you get the feeling if they really wanted to go through the heart of Curro, they probably could.
Four minutes remaining in this contest, and yeah, to Curro's credit, they've improved in certain areas in the second half of this game. Possession stakes are better. Still would love to see them win a penalty corner.
Unfortunately, just couldn't execute the backstick shot accurately there, and Curro awarded the free hit out. You think Ashland will be happy with his team's performance?
I generally think he should be. Probably just in terms of the objectives he had set for this game, in terms of, you know, every coach, as I would like to think, would set certain specifics that they need to work on game for game, and this is the beauty of these pre-season tournaments, Chris. But just in terms of, maybe Ashton would want them to be a bit better in their penalty corner execution offensively.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think one thing that's, I mean, when this festival was brought about being and developed, was just almost the scoreboard is there, but it's not really the main concern at this time of the year. It's just come out, play, find your ways, because starting from next weekend already, there's the big tournaments and stuff that come up, and your traditional events where teams are looking to be really sharp at. So yeah, I think I'd agree with you. I think Ash must be happy with the processes, and yeah, probably maybe just the penalty corners if we had to nitpick.
Pressure on that pocket turnover again.
Oh, lovely idea there. Just not accurate, but yeah, you could just see almost he was just waiting, just get ahead and make the little flick underneath his shoulder. Just couldn't connect with his teammate there.
Yeah. Let's see what happens here from this. And penalty corner awarded.
Again, just a lazy turnover. You could forgive Curro. I mean, 3-0 down towards the end of the game, maybe just a little bit feeling down, but they would like to go back and look at that and just say we just need to sort out our unforced errors. As I say, we just steal a bit from tennis where they talk about unforced errors. That would have been a big one.
No, for sure, definitely. I mean, something that to look at. And again, injection not accurate enough. That's the second one in a row from Curro.
That's the issue. We always talk about we got Curro on a counter. They're able to get out here. We always talk about ball pace at the injection, but unfortunately, with that pace comes a lot of responsibility. So even if he's 2 centimeters off target, it makes it really hard for the stopper. We've seen in the girls hockey they push out a little bit slower, where if it does go skew, the stopper's got a little bit of time just to reset. But unfortunately, at this level, with this porous team where they're pushing us out as fast as they are, they have to be 100% accurate.
They have to, definitely. Couldn't agree more, Chris. And a bit of a scrap in the corner there. Curro with just about 10 seconds remaining.
I think Porter's very lucky to get away with that bit of gamesmanship there, but yeah. As it is, that's full time, and Porus win this one 3-0.
Yeah, well done to Porus, well done to Curro as well for a improved second half performance. Just not able to get any really meaningful circle entries or goal shots, but yeah, nice contest.
The viewers at home, I trust you enjoyed the broadcast of this game, and there are a few more games still coming up today at Milnerton High School, Edgerton High School and Alcana, so I trust you guys will be joining and tuning in for whichever game you're looking forward to watching later. Till next time, goodbye.